Hey, good
Hey,
morning,
hey,
good
how's
afternoon.
everybody? Tanya, why don't you go ahead and introduce us?
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. This is Financial Sins, and we thank you for joining in with us as we talk about some things to help you just do your finances a little better. My name is Tanya Scott Pilcher, and I am the owner of Get Skills, where we take the average individual, put them in an insurance class, and turn their lives around, making them, into people that are really interested in helping folks and wanting to make a lot of money. So, that's it for me. I am excited about today because of our guest speaker. But before our guest speaker, Anthony, you all were on last week. Did y'all have a good time?
Girl, we had a great time, but it could have been better. There was a missing component, you know, a missing face, a missing body, and we made it what we could with that body being missing. It turned out all right. It could
Uh,
have been better.
I missed y'all.
We missed you more. We missed you more. Yeah, my name is Anthony Murray. I am a financial literacy educator. In other words, I teach people how money works. Well, that's what they say anyway. I'm with World System Builder, World Financial Group. I'm also a marketing director with them, and soon to be senior marketing director. Uh, why are we here today? We're here today. We have a really hot topic, but let's talk a little bit about. Finish telling you about myself. I almost forgot. I have a degree in insurance. I actually have a degree. Now, you don't need a degree to sell insurance. You don't need a degree. Matter of fact, my major was back then they called it insurance and real estate.
Mhm.
All right, but you don't need a degree for insurance, and nor do you need a degree for real estate. I had so many courses that was ridiculous, but all my courses seemed to focus on law and business. And
Yeah.
then they threw in some insurance courses so I could take the test and some real estate courses. But man, I had a whole bunch of courses, and I felt like I was going to school for law. But I did. I had to do case studies and all that stuff. And boy, oh man, it was a lot of work. But enough about me. Enough about me. Last week we talked about Medicare supplements. I hope you guys got something out of that. I mean, that was some very important information. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I'm not at that age to to uh, to to get Medicare, but um, hey, I
Hey,
learned,
if we live
huh?
long enough, we'll all be at
We'll
that
all
stage.
get it, right? We will all need it.
That's right.
So Tanya, you got a fan club, they're all chipping in right now saying hi, and they're really, or is that you saying hi to them?
Yeah, that's back and forth. I see them
That's back and
joining,
forth.
and hey, I am pumping up this show today because I'm excited again about our guest speaker, which is Mr. Baruch Pilcher. And hey, we got the same last name, huh?
Let me see that last name. That sounds familiar. Hey, you know what? Why don't you tell us a little bit about this young man?
Well, Baruch is a young entrepreneur, and he decided eventually to get into insurance because just like everyone else, he said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to follow behind my parents.
Hmm.
But this young man decided that he was not going to go to college. And, we
Hmm.
expected, you're going to go to school. And,
Hmm.
he just said he wanted to do his own thing. And I
Hmm.
guess and I think he'll tell his own story. But we're so excited with him getting involved in insurance. And he decided not to do life and health along with us, not right
Hmm.
away.
Okay.
And then get his P&C, which is the other side of the business. That's property and casualty.
Okay.
But what I love about him is that he is not only supporting and doing business for himself, is that
Mm-hmm.
he also supports other African American businesses here in the community, and he knows
Mm-hmm.
how to partner with them. And he's sharing lots of great things with the community. So we can bring him on in so that we can talk about the things that he wants to, or what he's doing in the community, and and talk about some insurance a little bit too. B, you're on mute right now. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How about y'all? How's everything?
Man, it's great. It's great. How's it feel? You're handling one side of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents are handling another side of the business, and Tanya, you have a daughter, but she's still in high school.
Right. She'll be ninth grade.
All
And
right.
she is definitely saying she's not going to do insurance.
Definitely. Hey, Baruch, is that what you said? Is that what you said? You're
100%.
definitely not going to do it?
100%. 100%.
100%.
Their
All right.
meetings were
So,
so long. They talk too much on the phone. I was like, nah, I'm good on this. But
all right. All right. So hold on. Wait a minute. Tanya, there's still hope. That's all I can say.
yeah, there's
There's still hope.
There's still
You know, so this is exciting because it's a family business. Now, why is he here? Why is she here? I really, this show is about helping people. One of the things in the African American community that's lacking is family owned businesses, especially in the finance industry. All right, we have mom in it or we have a dad in it. We usually have one or the other. We not often do you see the mother and the father and the children in the finance business together in the Black community.
Right.
All right, this is extremely important. Hey, folks, if you know somebody that needs to see, Baruch, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
All right, so he's an old guy. All right, so no, he's not old. He's not. Look, we really want to hit on that nail right there. He's 24 years old. All right, and that is so critical and so important, huh?
And he's been doing insurance for 2 years.
For 2 years, so he
22.
got in at 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Around
What?
22, 21. Yes, sir.
What? All right. So listen, I'm not going to ask all the questions. I know. We got a proud mother on the line. I'm glad. If your name was Mary, then we could play the song "Proud Mary."
Hey, Auntie Jackie. Hey,
Auntie, how you doing?
So go ahead, Baruch, and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Baruch Pilcher. I go as on my social sites, Root the Truth. Also, I go as the Insurance Plug. I started, like she said, insurance probably about 2 years ago. Well, first of all, I got a lot of jobs everywhere. I was working everywhere. That's why I didn't want to do insurance, because I felt like I could just go work, hustle, and just, like I said, make that money somewhere else. I soon found out that I wasn't able to really do the things that I really want to, as far as keep traveling and just come back home and not have like any type of finances, because the way I travel and everything like that is really hard to come back to a job and have a consistent paycheck. So I ended up getting my insurance license when I was 20, maybe 21. I didn't start using my insurance license until I was about 22. As soon as I got my insurance license, I quit my job and I just went out on a limb of I'm gonna get a job somewhere, and it's going to be in an insurance office. My first insurance job was at Geico on Waters.
All right, let me stop you for a moment.
Go ahead.
You got your license.
Yes, sir.
You were 21. All right. Now, mom and dad was already established.
Yes.
But you didn't want to work with mom and dad.
Not exactly. No, sir.
Not exactly. Okay. See, so now that's a typical mindset for youth. Mm-hmm. That's typical. So keep on with your story.
And I'm gonna answer that. The reason I didn't want to really, it's not that I didn't want to work with them. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to get out there. I didn't know how to save people money. So the biggest thing on why I went to Geico on Waters Avenue in Savannah was that I needed to figure out how the business worked. So I was there for about a year. It was great. It was fun. The people there at Geico was, very opening to me. Um, but after a while, and also after getting pressured by, my mother and my father, it was time.
But they pressured you.
Oh yeah, every day. Every day. Every day. Every time I came home, if I had a problem or if I said, it was always, you could come do that with us. I was just like, oh, okay.
No, Tanya wouldn't be like that. Tanya?
Of course. I had to explain it financially, though. He was leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So realizing that later on that I'm leaving a lot of money on the table, actually Geico promoted me to marketing sales director, basically over the city of Savannah. So I was going to a lot of dealerships. I was going to a lot of real estate agencies, mortgage brokers, and I'm sitting there promoting Geico, saying call me, but I ended up never being in the office because I'm always out. I'm always, like I said, at a dealership or at a mortgage company. So when those calls started coming in and those people started asking for Baruch, like I said, I wasn't there. So I stopped making the sales. And my income was, I would say, at a peak. It wasn't going beyond what I wanted it to be. I got in this industry to make money and not to kind of stop at something. I wanted to expand it. So that was something to definitely look at into changing. And when I finally did switch over, I realized how much money I was leaving on the table. So
all right, now let me interrupt. You worked as a captive agent.
Yes.
For Geico, and you were director of sales, and you were losing money. Because calls were coming in for you, but you weren't there to take the call.
I wasn't there to take the call
because you were on the road.
Yes.
And they let you know the call came in. Hey, you're doing good. You're doing good, man. You keep doing what you're doing because we're making money. Oh, sorry, you're not making it. We're making it.
Exactly.
So let me ask you, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel it kind of upsetted me a little bit because I would like to think that I was one of the best agents there. I don't know if they're looking at this Facebook podcast, but I would want to say I was one of the best agents there. And so with doing that, just being out all the time wasn't what I wanted to do. I came to sell. I'm good at selling. I was that good to where they ended up buying me a car. Geico ended up buying me a car to drive around all around the town. And, so I want to have to use my own gas. But with all the, cars and the, I guess putting my income with them at a certain peak, it was good for a little while, but that's not what I got in this industry to do. I got in this industry to make money, consistently. Okay. So, they try to make things work as far as giving me my max paycheck. And even though if it was $800, $900 a week, like I said, I didn't want that. I wanted more. So as far as just working and hustling, I just had to keep going. So like I said, there's no real hard feelings to Geico or anything like that, but it just wasn't for me anymore.
And training ground.
Yeah. So I finally ended up, I think back in 2019, around October 2019, I ended up leaving Geico and starting my own business, or assisting with the business of PG Insurance Agency.
Now, what's PG Insurance Agency? Tell us.
PG Insurance Agency is, I would say, a business that my mom and my dad.
What does it stand for?
Pilcher and Gill Insurance Agency.
Okay.
So, of course, Pilcher is our last name, and we have a business partner named Andrew Gill that we all got into this business to work under. So, like I said, starting this industry or starting this agency, um, it was pretty, I would say pretty difficult, as far as the beginning stages, because, like I said, it was October 2019. So you got November, December, then it's January 2020. That's when COVID popped off. Okay. So running this business in COVID was a little bit of a challenge. But as far as COVID, I kind of appreciate starting during COVID, because it gave me the ability to reach out to more of my clients on an everyday basis and use social media as far as, being out there. So a lot of people, they were in their homes. They were not going to work. They wanted to also not only save money on insurance, but they were right where I needed them to be, which is at home. And so using that type of thinking, I was able to start making videos, start making different posts to try to help people save money on insurance. And so even though COVID was, I guess I would say, a big catastrophe in the United States, for at least for small businesses and a small business like us, it was very, very helpful.
All right, listen. Now we say that P&G we could call a small business, but it's not really a small business, because we look at now, you hit on something that was extremely important, because it helped my business out tremendously, and that is the internet.
Right.
All right. So the small business has the big business mentality. All right. And that is critical to understand, that all of us, our mindset had to change. We had to there had to be a paradigm, a shift in our thinking from small business to big business. And what are the big businesses doing? All right, now we go to the internet. They go to the internet. They run television commercials. Well, we run commercials too, but they're online.
Right.
All right. And so when you're a broker, an insurance broker, for instance, we have with World System Builder over 200 companies, but I don't have to run a commercial. Guess who runs the commercials? They do. And all the companies that you guys have, right? Guess what? They run the commercials. All right. So we had to change our mentality. So, man, all I can do is tip my hat. Tell us some more about your business and your specialty and how you've been helping people, because I really believe, now we met JB a month or so ago, and he's a real estate tycoon in Savannah, and we still got to get that thing set up at that place on Tybee. Oh man, I believe Baruch, raise your hand for me. Raise your hand. All right, our next millionaire tycoon, right there. That's him, right there. He's the one. All right, listen. He's 24 years old, and by the time he's 26 or 27, why not? There's people in my organization that are 30 and 29 years old, and they're millionaires.
Absolutely.
All right, you gotta understand, this industry is the second highest paid industry in the world. All right. So Baruch, tell us some more about your business, man. Tell us your specialty and what you do.
Really, my business is auto, home, business insurance, renters insurance, and our agency also does provide life and health, but we kind of have our own specialties. For me, for example, my specialty is auto, home, and business insurance. My mom and my dad would be life and health.
Right. Tell us about your auto, home, and business. What do you do? What do you need people to have ready when you sit down and talk with them?
The biggest thing that I need people to have, or at least just the biggest thing, is just be honest. Okay, honesty. I have a lot of clients that, when I was working back at Geico, I felt like they were trying to, say certain things, mention certain things. But it's certain things and certain things you're supposed to hold off for yourself, and there's certain things that you're supposed to say that will help you during your policy. So of course there's with me at least, I would want to be a trusted agent towards my clients. So
Mhm.
as far as you can trust me, whatever you have going on financially, whatever you have going on your policy, if it's tickets, accidents, be honest about it. Number one, because I'm going to find it anyway. Okay. As far as tickets, accidents, or any claims that you have, I'm going to see it anyway. So just coming out and just, hey, I got this going on, or hey, I got this going on, that's cool. Um, you know, even when a client doesn't want it, I have a lot of people that call me from the dealership, and I sign up a lot of people from the dealership, but as well, I have people who, of course, the price is a little steep. And it's kind of funny. They'll say, okay, yeah, I'll give you a call back. I'll give you a call back. And then, I'm sitting there waiting like, all right, when y'all gonna give me a call? Hello. It's nothing. So it's just honesty, it's just being honest with yourself, being honest with me, because I'm just here to help. I'm not here to, like other agents. I would call myself a agent of ethics. Okay. So as far as being able to figure out what I can do to help you is my biggest, concern. So as far as, if you only have this much, or, I can't pay this, I would like to somehow get it towards this, price wise, that's a big key to me, because I want to save people money. I'm not in the business to charge you everything and give you everything. I just want to give you what you need. And that's the biggest thing in this business, just like trying to assist everybody as much as possible, trying to help people out, because I'm not in the business to really rip people off or anything. I'm trying to help. That's just the biggest thing.
Man, that's powerful. Go ahead, Tanya.
So in order to help, Baruch, what is it that we need to know? So, I just went into the dealership, and should I have my insurance before I go? Should I use what I had in the past? What do I need when I walk into that dealership to walk out with my brand new vehicle, my 2021?
So what you basically would need when you walk into a dealership, first of all, the dealership is going to keep you there for however many hours. Okay, you're going to be there all day. So when you finally do give me a call, which is normally at the end of the process, you will want to, figure out, of course, you got to figure out your finances, because a lot of people walk in there thinking that they'll spend all their money on the actual vehicle and not have money for the insurance. Yes. I have had plenty of clients that, spent however much on their vehicle, but then they'll come to me and say, hey man, I only have $100. What can you do with that? And I'm like, I can't do nothing with that, if you want to be honest. But it's just as far as finding out what you need from me, or what you need as far as insurance before you get there. So if you already are interested in a car, you already went to the dealership, handled everything, and maybe you're going back, go ahead, let me get that info. Let me run that VIN number. Let me see what your price is at least going to be around, so you can know and I can know, because you don't want to be in a dealership, like I said, you spend all your money on the car, and then now you can't drive off the lot because you don't have enough money to pay for your insurance. Me, for example, I'm going to do as much as I can to get your insurance down to the price you need to. I'm gonna do all that I can. And I'm sorry. And like I said, that's just the biggest thing. That's just the biggest thing you want to do, is just figure out your vehicle that you want to drive out the lot with, and let the insurance company go ahead and run everything that they need, so you could at least see where your price margin is at.
All right. So now, when you say that you'll find out about tickets and whatever else they have, how do you do that?
It's a program in the actual insurance application, so it's nothing that I do extra. It's going to happen. So even when you call Geico, even when you call Allstate, the biggest thing that they do is run those what we call motor vehicle reports, and they also
Mhm.
run your clue report. Okay, clue is basically your accidents and stuff like that. It also could be your credit, and um, it also can be your auto and your home insurance. Not the auto and home insurance. It also could be your tickets and your accidents. That's your motor vehicle report, your tickets and
Okay, good.
accidents. Okay. And like I said, there's nothing extra that I do. It's just as far as, like I said, that's on the application. So I'm going to see that. The only thing extra I would have to do, if anything, is if I'm getting a lot of trouble with your driver's license number, I might have to go to the DMV website or something and see if, is your license suspended or something like that. And that's something, that's public record. So you can easily type in any of that information and find that out. But like I said, that's in the actual application. So anytime I'm running anybody's name or anything, that's coming up as far as in the program. So you'll
Mhm.
see a lot of times you might get emails or you might do a simple quote with somebody and it's low. You'll see that it's like maybe $100, $200, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, cool. And then as you proceed on the application, you might see a jump and you're like, oh, and then the agent is telling you, now your policy is at $300, $400. And that's what the things that they done. They ran that motor vehicle report, that claims report, and they seen what you have on your record. So they give you a initial price based off of your car, your vehicle, all the information you put in before. And then at the end, they run those reports and then give you your final price.
So
Okay.
does it make a difference if you got that information up front? Would it make a difference on which companies you run it through?
Um, get information as far as what particular information?
Well, if I told you that I had, two tickets and I had an accident that wasn't my fault, would that make a difference on which companies you decide to run it through if I gave you that information up front? Because most times we don't tell you anything. We just say, hey, I just need some insurance.
It depends. I initially I work with different companies. I have about probably 5 in auto and probably a certain amount in home and a certain amount in business. Um, but I really only generally use possibly 3.
Mm-hmm.
3 ones that I mainly use. And if they don't have the right price for you, then we could stretch out the option of going to the 4th and 5th option. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, I usually just go with the first 3.
Okay.
In whatever order I put that in, it's not really as far as anything specific. It's just, who I've been having the most luck with, who's been showing me the best prices, and who I think just from personal experience, who's going to give you the best price.
Okay.
Certain insurance companies find different things. Like I had one lady yesterday that I quoted, and with the one insurance company, they didn't find anything on her motor vehicle report. Then when I went to another company like Progressive or something like that, it was different things on their motor vehicle report that that was on there that showed. So it really just depends on the company as far as what they find. And if they find it cool, if they don't, then hey, that's cool too. But we're gonna work with whatever is comes up on the application.
So there's nothing actually that the agent can do to some
Right.
people. They think, well, I know you, so I know you can get the price down for me.
Mm-hmm.
The price is all relevant. It's all based on a person's driving history. Is that correct? And how far back do you look in the driving record?
The driving record could go far back as 3 to 5 years as far
Okay.
as being on your policy. Um, Price is different with age, young man and young lady. That's a good question too, Auntie. The price, not as far as price, but as far as looking back on the motor vehicle reports and everything, they usually generally look far as 3 to 5 years. I
Okay.
do have a couple clients that do have, say, if I was to run their stuff now, um, you'll see something as far as in 2014. Now, even if stuff comes up like that, of course, that's like 6, 7 years ago, then you'll see that they possibly won't charge you for that no more. So in a 3 to 5 year period, they'll still charge you for it. It just will decrease as far as whatever's on there. But after that 3 to 5 year period, they most likely not going to charge you no more for whatever incident that you have.
So a person could actually get, and we need to answer the question from, did you say auntie? So we got family all over the place here trying to support this young man. So if the ticket is old, you get the ticket is relevant, but then as time goes on, it gets old. A person could actually come back to you and say, look, can you guys reduce? Can is something we can do? It's been 6
100%.
years, 7 years.
100%. And that's what I try to tell a lot of my clients to do. If I can't help you now, at least, give me a call later on in the future. We can run that again, and see where we're at. And I also want to give a lot of my clients the option to do a defensive driver's course if they're eligible for it. Mm-hmm. So, as far as a defensive driver's course, I do have one that I have on my website, and it helps with points on your license. So it can reduce points on your license. It can take off about 10% as far as on your policy, and it lasts on there for about 3 to 5 years. So you don't have to really keep taking it over and over again. It's going to be something that you can put on one insurance policy and that you can take over to another insurance policy if it's within that 3 to 5 year period.
Is there a driver's ed class you can take in Savannah?
Yes, there is a driver's ed class you can take in Savannah. It is a little bit more expensive because it's a classroom environment. I think a good one personally is one on Eisenhower A to Z defensive drivers. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it is a little bit more expensive. It is, I think, I can't think of the price right now. But as far as what you can do for the moment, an online course would do the same thing. And the online course will probably charge you half of what you have on there, and that's probably between $30 to $40. And it's also a class is also probably what does classes last? Maybe like 4 or 5 hours, maybe longer than that or something. The course online is basically 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, so you can easily just take what you need to, have what you need to, and just get it on done and be able to have that on your policy in about an hour.
All right, so we have a couple of really good questions here. One is, do prices differ with ages for young men or young ladies?
Price does kind of differ between if you're a young man or a young lady. And I'm gonna try to explain it like this. Think about, and this is kind of what was explained to me. Think about if a young man driving, okay? And I could speak on this. I could testify to this. When you get in your first car, you just want to drive fast. Okay, you want to go. You want to just press the pedal. You want to make wild turns sometimes. That's just how normal, or not normal, but how in general guys drive. Now, say as far as a girl, okay, they're a little bit more hesitant. They're a little more cautious on how they are, a little bit more careful on how they turn. They're a little more careful on how they brake and how they accelerate. At least some are. And that is looked at in insurance companies. So they can sometimes charge a girl a much cheaper price than a guy, because in general, guys drive a little bit, I want to say the word reckless, but they drive less careful than an actual young lady.
So Baruch, is it a truth or a myth that if you're under 25, you're just going to get these higher rates?
I'll say it like this. I want to say it's a truth, or I want to say it's a myth. A lot of people under the age of 25, they would get, tickets and accidents. I would say after that 25 year period, say, for example, you got your driver's license at the age of 16. Okay. So when you're 21, of course, you only been driving for about 5 years. Okay. Your experience in driving is low. But when you hit that 25, 26, 27 period, you're already at 11, 10 years. Okay. So your experience as far as driving has increased.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say as far as it's a myth that you'll get these high prices, but a lot of people who are under the age of 25, they're still trying to get out there. They're still trying to understand the road, and you can develop a lot of tickets or a lot of accidents. I can testify to that because I have a couple of tickets, and I don't have any accidents, but I do have a lot of speeding tickets.
Don't tell.
No, I have to say this. I have to say this because it's different things that you can do to get those tickets off that a lot of people don't know. Okay. So
tell us.
One thing that I did for me, and this is a secret. Okay. This is a secret for everybody on live. One thing that I do for myself is if I'm driving, say I'm trying to get somewhere, and I get a super speeder ticket. That's probably the worst tickets I could possibly
That's
get.
the worst one, man.
That's the worst one. And to be honest, I have
one or two. Oh, I don't know.
I keep forgetting my mom was on the line.
Oh, your mom is on the line.
I got about 2 to 3.
Oh,
I got about 2 to 3.
She's grabbing her face.
Yeah, I got about 2 to 3 speeding tickets. Okay, and probably a couple of just regular speeding tickets. But when I got those tickets, the police officer would just tell you, you know, as soon as you pay it, you know, you don't have to worry about going to court. You don't have to worry about going to court or anything like that. Just pay off the ticket. Don't do that. Okay. What that's doing is it's already you're showing that you're guilty. Okay. Even though when you go to court, you're gonna clarify yourself as guilty, but you're already, before talking to the judge, before looking at anybody, you're already admitting to being guilty. So they already add those points on your license, and they already shoot you whatever your price is. Now, say for example, you was to go to court. Okay. And since I have super speeding tickets, I've been to court plenty of times. All right. So with going to court, whatever judge that you do come across, you know, sometimes the judge could be real nice, you know, and let you go and say he lowers your points or whatever, or take your points out. Or sometimes, and that was my first experience when I got my first super speeder, the judge was really mean and he just gives you whatever the price is and just say, go on about your day. But as far as going to court and as far as talking to the judge, or at least being there in front of the judge, I'm only getting charged on my insurance for one ticket. Okay. And that's as far as I can say, as, you know, going on and going to court, because sometimes the judge can say, okay, this is your first offense, just pay the fine, you won't have no points on your license. Okay. Or they could go ahead and put the points on your license. But like I said, it just depends on the judge, because the judge is trying to get out of court the same thing you trying to get out of court as soon as possible. Okay. So they don't have time to really sit there and you get this and punish everyone. Sometimes they have a good heart and they say, you know, okay, well, just pay the fine or pay this or go take a defensive driver's class or whatever like that. And, you know, when you bring back that proof of that you took the class, we'll reduce your points, or we'll throw this out, or we'll not charge you for anything. We won't put nothing on your driving record. And go ahead. And so, like I said, that's one of the things I do all the time. I always go to court. I never pay it up front. And like I said, I'm only getting charged for one speeding ticket right now.
Yeah, and you know what? I tell you what, I had a situation, believe it or not, I actually had a couple of speeding tickets. I know, hard to believe, it was years ago. All right. And the last speeding ticket I had, they brought up a case where the judge actually threw it out. And it was documented. He said, all right, we're not going to charge, boom, we're just going to pay it and we're going to waive it. We're going to waive everything. We're going to waive the record. I said, oh, I said, okay. So I paid the fine and they were supposed to waive it. I went to court a couple of years later and it was still there. And they threw it in my face.
Mhm.
And I said, Your Honor, I said that was supposed to have been taken off and it's documented. And they checked the records and they said, well, if it was supposed to have been taken off, then there should be a record for it. And when they checked it and saw that the other judge said he was going to remove it, guess what they did? They dropped the charges.
Mhm.
They dropped it. So, yeah, it's best that you do go to court and don't let them railroad you.
Mhm.
Don't let them railroad you. Hey, look, there's a really good question.
Mhm.
How does living in certain communities affect your rates?
That's a great question. The best thing to explain an insurance rate, or not really to explain insurance rate, the best thing that you should know that brings your price to your price is where you live. Okay, and they base it off a zip code. All right.
Okay.
So unfortunately, in our zip code, which is 31404, and all those zip codes surrounding that, we have high insurance alone. Okay, and that's just from as far as the people in our zip code um are not, I'm not going to really say bad drivers,
They
but
got a lot of
we get
claims.
into yeah, we get into a lot of claims, we get into a lot of accidents over here. And so that's why you may notice that in this part of your zip code you might be more expensive than another part. You might also might notice if you have insurance and you moved, that the price changes if you
Mm-hmm.
move from one zip code to another one, because that's what most of the initial rate is based off of. It's based off of your zip code. Okay,
So are
that's
you telling me I ought to make sure that if I move, I need to see if my rate would go down? Or wait till my 6 months or 12 months is up. Should
I
I?
mean, if you gotta move, you gotta move. So that's gonna be
Right.
your price in that region anyway. I wouldn't really see, as far as keep your, like I said, the biggest thing is to be honest. So if you're moving, you gotta move.
Right.
Okay. So what you do want to know is if you're going to move in that area, um, what's your rates looking like in that area? And just when you do move, let your insurance company know so they can charge you appropriately.
Hey, Baruch, one of the other things that people ask is that they don't understand uninsured motorist. Or no, let me go back one. Um, they say I got a claim, but the accident wasn't my fault, and they feel like it shouldn't affect their rates. So does it make their rates go up even though the accident wasn't their fault?
Say that question one more time. I really.
So if a person is in an accident but it wasn't their fault, does it make their rates go up?
If a person has an accident and it wasn't their fault, anytime that you have a claim, okay, anytime that you are putting in Progressive or any type of agency and you say, hey, I gotta make this claim, that affects you. Okay, now I think, if I'm not mistaken, certain companies don't charge for a claim, but a lot of times a lot of them do. Okay. Because I remember when I was working at Geico, they were saying if the policy was if on the policy, on the previous policy, they had a claim or whatever, it depends on the claim. So if it's at fault, it would hurt you, and if it's not at fault, it wouldn't. But then when I started working with more insurance companies, I began to notice that any claim hurts you. Okay, so I don't know if that's still the same right now, but I know that it does. Okay. And why? Why does it hurt you? It's because it's showing that whatever that you got going on in your personal life, you're say for example like this. I park my car in the street, okay? And I also park under a tree. All right. So if anytime late at night a person could be driving, say they don't see my car, it's black. Say they don't see my car and they skid the side of my car and keep on driving, right? It's like you make that claim and you're like, hey, this person hit my car. I want to make a claim for it, you know. But insurance companies look at it as, Well, you're kind of putting yourself more highly at risk because you park your car on the street instead of the driveway.
Wow. Wow.
So it's messed up a little bit, but that's just how they look at it.
Yeah, so I can understand that. If you park on the street, you're more at risk, more opportunity to get hit. If you park under a tree, well, I guess you're at risk too, right? You have a tree get hit by lightning, branch fall on the car, you know.
Exactly.
But what about now? Look, when I moved down here from Connecticut. I moved down here from Connecticut. Um, can you talk along the lines as far as taxes and how the taxes go down in certain, is that by zip code too? Or do you ever hear, because my taxes and car insurance went down. Man, my taxes went so far down, I was like, what? Say what? I was like, whoa.
So you said you moved from Connecticut
Yeah.
to Georgia, and you said your insurance and your taxes went down.
Yeah, they both went down.
So as far as Connecticut wise, Connecticut is I didn't know this, but Connecticut was, I guess, in insurance world is a more at risk or higher risk state than Georgia is. You know, I was always taught that Georgia was possibly almost, if not the worst place to get insurance in, because they just have high rates everywhere. You know, and I had a client that she was from New York. She paid, you know, however much for insurance, but you gotta understand, in New York, most of the city and everything, they're doing a lot of walking. A lot of people don't really have cars in New York, you know. So when she didn't move down to Georgia, she realized it was a big spike in insurance because, you know, like I said, Georgia is just a bad place to drive in. It's a bad place to get insurance. I want to say bad place, but the rates is just way higher than usual, way higher than they're supposed to be. So,
well, you know, man, you're bringing out so many powerful and valid points. You know, my youngest son, man, he's 23, but that boy has good insurance. He just bought a car, and he has a good insurance rate. I mean, that rate is down. I'm like, what? And now my insurance rate just went down. It just went down a couple of months ago. The company that I'm with, they across the board, they said they were cutting the prices, but their price was already down pretty good. So I thought, because I used to be with Geico. I went from Allstate to Geico, now to State Farm, you know. And so I was like, all right. I said, now, look, if I can find somebody better than State Farm, you know, I might have to make another move. Yes. But a lot of people, they look at that, you know, and I like this question Jackie brought up, or a statement: in some rural area, rates are higher because of the deer problem. Should we be penalized? Now, I don't run into that here. We do have a lot of deer. We have foxes, deers, and who knows what else up here in this area. Cows. Down the street around the corner, this guy have a bunch of cows, man. And, you know, I remember years ago, Effingham was a roaming free zone where they didn't have to have fences. But somewhere in the 90s, I believe it was, they made people put up fences for these animals. So I wonder, how does that affect, you know, someone living in suburban area compared to rural? Is it still, again, based on zip code?
Yes, it's still based off zip code. But I want to touch on this real quick. As far as, should you be penalized for insurance, for if you do hit like a large animal like that? If you are living in an area, okay, that you do experience or you do see a lot of wildlife, okay, the first thing that's going to go under, if you do hit an animal and you got to get your car fixed, that's a comprehensive claim. Okay. Now, your comprehensive from collision is a lot more cheaper to get coverage on. Okay. So what's under your claims, what's under your comprehensive and collision is deductibles. So of course, if you do have a comprehensive or a collision claim, you pay your deductible, and your deductible, after you pay it, the insurance take care of the rest. if you are a person who's experiencing a lot of, deers and stuff like that, I would suggest making your deductible a lot lower. Okay. For instance, like I said, I parked under a tree. Okay. Like you said, if the, storming one night, that tree branch falls, breaks my windshield, my deductibles for my comprehensive is at $250. Okay. That means when your deductible is lower, of course it's going to make your insurance higher, because you're saying that you want to come out of pocket a much lower price than 500, than 1,000, and 2,000. Okay, so that's going to make your insurance a lot higher. I choose as a person to keep my insurance. No, it's not too high, but I rather pay higher insurance than to get in that situation and end up paying $500 to $1,000 just because I hit Bambi, or just because I hit Beethoven, or just because a tree branch falls in your car, because I'm not trying to pay that much. I got a 2013 Ford Focus. Okay, to me, I'm gonna be honest. To me, I think it's a lemon. I don't really like the car. Okay, but I am not going to pay $500 to $1,000 to get my windshield fixed. It's just going to sit there and be broke. But if I did want to pay anything, I'd rather pay $250, $100, possibly $50, because that's going to be more beneficial for me when that time period comes. And insurance is supposed to help you out financially. Okay, so you don't want to always be with the state minimum. You don't want to always be with yes, your deductible could change at any time by just going to your insurance policy and changing it. You can't change your deductible at any time.
All right, now, question for you.
Go ahead.
Question for you is this: if you mentioned comprehensive, how many components are there in car insurance?
How many components are there in car insurance?
Yeah, that makes up the premium.
So like I said, first, the credit. Okay, credit is an issue. Okay, zip code is something that they look at. And I say credit is an issue because they want to see how you're doing on your other financial responsibilities. How are you, paying your other bills? If because insurance, like I said, it's a bill. So what are you doing over there? Even though it doesn't affect your credit or make you lose points on your credit, it's just a soft credit check. You got zip code, you got credit, you got the car itself. I had a client that they wanted me to insure their Tesla. Okay. Now the insurance on this Tesla was about $1,000. Okay. And a month, $1,000 a month. Okay. And they said they went to Geico, and when they went to Geico, they were charging them probably about $2,000 a month. So I came in a lot cheaper. Okay. But as far as just the equipment itself in a Tesla, you got to understand why it's $1,000 a month, because the equipment in the Tesla is so
high
tech. Yeah, it's so high tech that if you do damage something in that, that's something that's you really gonna have to come out of pocket for, or at least something that the collision shop or whoever you're taking your Tesla to, the Tesla dealership, is gonna have to fix. So it's the car too. So you want to try to get a car that has maybe of course your alarms, your anti-theft, your I'm trying to think of one specifically. Anti-theft, alarms. You want to also safety features. Okay, so if you're driving and it has automatic braking, or if you're driving and it has the reverse, make the little sounds and stuff in the back, beep 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 beep, different stuff like that. That's safety features, and those safety features can go on your policy and actually reduce your price because you had those type of safety features in your vehicle.
And you can add that too, that beep 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 stuff. If you don't have it currently on your car, go to a good mechanic. They can add that. It's going to cost you, but
you can add it, and you also want to, but it just depends on the car. So like once you put in your VIN number, once you give me your VIN number, it's going to automatically pop up. So it might not give you the discount right away, but if you do have any custom or anything added to your vehicle like that, or like a custom radio or I got a lot of people that put rims on their car. You want to let your insurance company know the value of that total. So if you do have something and that gets damaged, they at least can give you the appropriate amount of value to get that replaced.
So Baruch, how do people reach you if they need to get a quote?
How do you reach me? All right, so it's a couple places that you can reach me at. You can reach me at my phone number, which is 912-844-1587. You can
Wait, could you say that a little slower? Because
Yes.
you just
Yes.
say that just a little slower.
You can
912.
912-844-1587. You can reach
give
me
one more time.
912-844-1587. You can also, if you want, you can also email me at pgins1094@gmail.com. If you have a Facebook or Instagram, you could DM me, direct message me on either Facebook or Instagram. But all in all, if you DM me, if you message me, if you text me, I'm going to send you straight to my website, which is pginsuranceagency.com. Okay. And I send everyone to my website. So if not just for, of course, clicks on my website, but as far as I want to be able to keep up with that data. Okay. To keep up with that information. So if you are a client of mine, or even if you just got a quote and you want to, shop around and possibly come back later, I still have your info. It's not like I'm writing it down in a book or something. I got to keep up with this book. It's with me all the time, on my email, on my phone, in my, like I said, it's always with me. So,
All right, listen, we got 15 seconds to go. Mom, we're so happy for you. We're so proud of this young man. I know you have a class coming up for insurance. When is it?
We have a class that's going to be held in Atlanta, July 10th and 11th, and also 17th and 18th. And, we invite you to come out. If you need any information on that, please reach out to me. We want to thank you, Baruch, for being with us. We only talked about auto insurance. We didn't even get to homeowners. And there's still some things about the auto business that we didn't even talk about, the difference between the collision and comprehensive and so forth. And we had other questions out here. So maybe, I don't know what next week is going to be about, but maybe we can bring you back. But we thank everyone for joining us on today. God bless. And, join us next week at 1:00 for Financial Sins.
Hey, listen, check us out on Facebook, and please like us on Facebook. Press that like button until you go to sleep. Just keep on pressing it, right? And then go to YouTube and like us on YouTube. God bless you. Thank you for being with us today. We'll see you next week. And share this page with your friends. Thanks again for coming on.
Facebook, I share this page. All right.
Baruch, man, you're awesome, brother. You're awesome. Man, hey, look, you know what? We are the Millionaire Club.
Yes.
All right. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you back next week, Baruch. We'll talk to you later.
All right. See you guys next week. Thank you.
All right.